Dude, what's going on? Just preaching. So I'm up here in Pennsylvania. I had a load yesterday that I was about 35 minutes late for. I was going off of I-76, and there's a lot of construction. It was a lot of one lanes, and it just was like bumper to bumper traffic all the way. It just was ridiculous, man. It really was. So I wound up being about 35 minutes late, right? So, you know, the broker was tracking me on my cell phone and stuff. I'm at the pilot. They tracking me, and then they was like, well, you see you tracking. I said, yeah, I'm tracking, but I'm calling you to let you know that I'm going to be about 40 minutes late. And then they were like, well, you're only like 56 miles. To say you're about 50 miles away, and you got an hour and 30 minutes. You trying to tell me you ain't going to make it? I said, listen, it's a lot of construction, and we going real slow right now. So even though I'm 56 miles away, I can let you know right now how this traffic is going, and it's all this construction going through it. I'm probably going to be about 40 minutes late. That's like, well, all right, well, just do the best you can. I'm like, okay, no problem. So then I wound up being 44 minutes late. I get there to the shipper, and the shipper was like, okay, cool, you good to go. No problem. I said, well, all right. And then the shipper, it states in the rate con, if you 1 minute late, 1 minute late, you will not get detention. So I was like, well, you know, cool. The load was taking me to Chicago, right? So with the load taking me to Chicago, it was paying pretty good. It was 638 miles. I had to go to Chicago because I need some more trip pack envelopes from the office. I have enough, but I was like, well, you know, I'm only like 600 miles away from the office. I might as well get some more trip pack envelopes and stuff. And then plus my trailer, I don't know if I post that video when my hose broke off my brake chamber line. My hose had broke off my brake chamber line, and when it broke off my brake chamber line, you know, my brakes locked up on my front axle on the trailer, and the tires slid, smoke everywhere, and I was on the 2-lane road. So I was blocking the 2-lane road. I was like, man, here we go. I couldn't move. But, you know, I keep tools, fittings and stuff, tape, hoses. I got a little go bag, you know, because Karen is old and used to pop hoses, fittings used to break all the time. So I just learned to pack that stuff with me. So I was like, well, here we go. And I put out my triangles, and basically the hose broke off of the fitting that went to the air brake chamber. So I had to, of course, cut the hose, shave it. I took the old fitting off that was broke. I put a new fitting on, and that hurt, y'all. That hurt. Yeah, I'm able to sit down on my butt underneath the trailer and stuff, but I got some bad neck issues going on, man. Some bad neck issues going on, and it really hurt, man. It really did. And it's just simple work, right? Some of y'all that know, it's real simple to fix the fitting. You just cut the hose, you're gonna put the hose in, you lock it into the fitting, screw the fitting back in. Simple. It's not like it's something hard. You do it with your fingers. It's not hard, but the fact that me just crawling underneath the truck, I had to bend my neck down, then I'm sitting down on my butt doing it, and I'm using my arms, but my right arm is real weak. It's in pain, man. It's really in pain. And a very simple job that took me about 10 minutes to fix it. The police showed up, and they was like, oh, okay, so you can fix it? He said, well, good, man. He said, normally they out there with the semi-truck drivers on this road for like 4 or 5 hours. I said, no, it just was the hose I just finna put a new fitted on, screw it in. I'll be good to go. They were like, cool. And it took me about 10 minutes to do it, but I was hurting so much off of something simple, man. I was really, really hurt, man. And my side of my face here started twitching and everything like that. It was, I had to go to a neurologist to find out, so I'm dealing with that. Orthopedic doctor because it flared up and stuff. So now I got to get some shots in my neck. It just hurts real bad just to do something just that simple. Some of y'all know who done it. When you putting a new fitting on a hose and screw it in, you know how simple that really is. A wrench. you take your little razor blade. I got my little razor blade, and you just slice the line. Make sure it's straight. Put the new fitted on. Then I put some clamps around it to secure it. 10 minutes down. Some of y'all who don't want to work on y'all truck, don't want to do nothing, yeah, you'll sit there for 4, 5, 6 hours. I was out there in the middle of nowhere. I'm trying to tell you, the middle of nowhere. I was like at least 2.5 hours just from the interstate. It was nothing there. So I know if I try to wait and call somebody, yeah, they're gonna fix it for free because that's part of my lease agreement. They will fix it for free. Yeah, so you can look at things and be like, well, they fix everything for free on a one price because it's a full maintenance lease and everything. You don't have to worry about no repairs. The only thing I have to worry about is just tires. And those tires I got on my trailer was new. I already replaced those a while ago. So now, because how it slid, I'm not gonna get the full life of the tire because it has a flat mark from when the tires had locked up in the sled. It got a little flat mark. So now I'm not gonna get the full life out of those tires. But if I take the trailer to their shop, they will replace the tires for free. I only have to pay for tires if it happens out on the road while I'm out on the road. But if I take it to their shop, I get all free tires on this truck too. So that's a good thing about the company that I'm leasing this truck on to. But anyway, back to my original story. So I'm at the place for about 3.5 hours, right? Then they call me and be like, hey, just so you know, it may be a while because we don't have the product in here. It's still being made and we don't have the product right now. I said, what you mean you don't have the product? My appointment time was for 12 o'clock. Y'all gave me a house, and when I went inside the office at 12:40 about this unload. Now you trying to tell me you don't even have the load at all here? Now, yeah, I said, so they don't know. They was like, well, what do you want to do? I said, well, let me call the broker, find out what they want to do. I called the broker. The broker was like, listen, I'm just going to be straight up with you, man. That particular shipper right there, they do this a lot. And you could be waiting 5, 6 hours. He said, they do this a lot. We rather just give you the tow and you just fall off the load. This is what the broker told me now about this place, because they deal with this broker all the time. The shipper all the time. So I'm like, oh man, because my other load is going to take me back home. It was going to Chicago so I can get my little paperwork, and I got a load from Chicago going to take me back to Florida because I got to get these injections in my neck on Tuesday. So I was like, man, but I had the next load, I had those same 2 loads from the same broker. So the broker was like, well, we'll just take you off that load too. So I was like, well, all right, it's tow note, but I wasted my whole afternoon there. So by the time we figure all that out, now it's 4 o'clock. It's no loads. So I lost the whole day. I lost $1,400. The load paid me $1,400 to go 600 miles. It's actually 638 miles. So I lost and it was a day run, right? I had full hours too. I had 10 hours of drive time. I delivered my load like down the street that morning. I had to deliver my load. So I came straight there and I slept at the receiver the night before. So, I had a full clock. So I'm able to get there, and I would have got there about, well, if I would have got loaded on time, I could have got there, by 11 o'clock. My appointment time to deliver wasn't until 12 o'clock afternoon the following day. So I had plenty of time. So I was like, okay, cool. Because that morning I was going to go to the terminal and get more envelopes and stuff like that, and more calm data checks. So that that planned out my morning great, and I could be on PC because I'm going to the terminal and stuff, so I wouldn't even have used none of my time. And then the load that I had picking up, it picked up at 5 o'clock from Chicago. So, I was straight, man. I was straight how I booked it. And the load that I booked going back to Florida, it was going to Kissimmee, Florida. That load right there, it paid me real good too, because it was paying me $2,600 to go to Kissimmee, Florida. And it was 1,100 miles. So I'm like, cool, cool. For some of y'all going to Florida, y'all like, oh, Florida. I stay in Florida. It's totally different for me. So if you don't stay in Florida, when you look at that particular Florida rate, it may not be good to you because you don't stay in Florida. But that still was like a $2.38, $2.40 a mile for me to come back home and deliver on Monday at that. And my appointment is Tuesday morning. So I have the rest of the day Monday off, and then I don't know what time I'm supposed to be there Tuesday morning. So that's the purpose of me not picking up a load on Monday. They're going to call me on Monday to let me know what time to be at the surgical place, the surgical center, so I can get the shots and stuff put inside my neck. But these tow-nos, man, these shippers, it's like they really don't care about a trucker's time. They really don't. You knew you didn't have that load when I checked in. So when I first checked in, he'll call me when he's ready for me. I'm like, well, okay, no problem. They gave me a little house about being late. Well, we ain't gonna pay you any detention time. I said, man, that's fine, because like I said, I had plenty of time. Plenty of time, man. Plenty of time. So I wasn't worried about it. Getting it paid any detention, these loads work out great for me. It worked out real great for me. Because just between those two loads right there, I'm gonna finish my day with almost $4,000 for the week. I'm like, I was like, cool, because I already made $3,200 for the week. So that was gonna be a $7,200 week. But wound up losing that $1,400, man. And they really don't care about your time. You sitting there and they know they don't have the load. So if you know you don't have a load, the driver then checked in for this unload, and you know you do not have it, why didn't you right then and there be like, hey, listen, your load is not here right now. Let me find out when we gonna have the product so you'll know when to get loaded. They could have did that. No, they wait till 3:30 to let me know. So then I got to call the broker and find out what's going on with that. So by the end of the day, I couldn't get another load. And if I would have known that when I first checked in, about 12:40, when I first checked in, broker could have called. We could have figured everything out by 1 o'clock. There was still a lot of loads on the board. I could have got me another load headed up to Chicago with no problem. But by the time they tell me all this stuff, now I was stuck. So I lost a whole day. So then I had to find another load. So I booked this load. It was about 135 miles away from where I was at. And it's gonna take me down to Miami. So and that total trip is 1,296 miles. It don't deliver until Monday too. So I'm still gonna take this load because it's gonna get, today is Friday. So it's still gonna get me home. I'll be home Saturday night. That's how time I normally get home on Saturday nights between 6 and 8. So I'll still be home for the weekend, and I couldn't recoup all my money. That load going down to Miami only paid me $2,800. So if I add that 150 tow-no onto that, you can look like, well, yeah, but I'm still down with $1,050 that I'm down for the week. So even though I made a little bit more money because it's go down there in Miami, I'm still down $1,050 for the week. And these 2 weeks in a row where I done had something wrong with the load that cost me a whole day that I could have made money. So now, when I used to average between $7,000 to $7,500, for the last 3 weeks, I'm only averaging about $6,500 because these loads cancellations. You get there and the load is canceled. Then they don't let you know after you done been there for a while. Then you get a $150 tow-no, but what that's going to do? Then you got to cancel your other load. But luckily I deal with this broker for so long, me and the rep, cool. He's like, cool. And a lot of times that's not my fault that the load canceled. And a lot of times I book 2 loads with the same broker. So I work with the same brokers all the time, so they used to how I do certain things. And sometimes I can't do it. So then sometimes they'll call me, but hey, I know you're gonna be in this area. Do you want this load? And I tell them, well, I can't, man, because I'm having so much neck pain that I can't do it. I got to take a day off because I started having real bad spasms and stuff. I got 2 herniated discs in my neck from the accident I had, because I had hit the driver's side window. And it was funny because, when I drive like this to the side with my shoulder kind of like on the window, because the sun be beaming on that side. It was beaming on that side. So I'm like driving like this, how we normally drive, I'm just driving like this. And so then when the dude hit me, my head went like, bah, it hit this. I didn't have my headset on because I was going through the radio talking with my wife, and then we just talking and I'm just talking with her and I'm driving. All of a sudden I go bam, and I hit the side window right there, right? And boom, the window had cracked right across. I hit my head, and then when I hit my head, I wound up messing up my neck and everything. So I've been dealing with that, and it wound up giving me 2 herniated discs on 2 different levels off of it. So now that's why I was going to physical therapy. And physical therapy, I'm trying to do physical therapy. That started spasming out, the side of my face, it started twitching real bad. I'm like, oh, I had the sharp pains going inside my shoulders. Painful now. It's painful. I'm trying to get out here and work, and some days I just can't do it. I really can't do it. I got to take another day off because I'm just hurting too much and driving. And like the physical therapist, I said, you ever been in a semi-truck? On most of these roads, y'all know how it is. You bouncing up and down, your head going all left and right. You just bouncing all up and down. Well, that bouncing with my head on the spine is crushing those vertebrates with those discs. And when they already been messed up, it's like, so even just driving, it gets hard. So after about 4 hours of driving, I started having this pain and stuff. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. It makes you frustrated. So now I'm going through all this and doing all that stuff. Then you get to this load. Then they do this. It's like, man, it just messes you up for real, man. It messes you up for real. The market, when they talk about the market, right, you can make it happen. But to make it happen, I done said this on previous videos, you're going to have to change your criteria. A lot of people that say ain't no loads out here. A lot of people saying that it's not great paying loads. That's all the things that you are doing. I've been in areas that I do not want to go. I don't like going out there to Colorado. I really don't. I don't like going out there to Utah, but the loads are paying going out there. And then before I go out there, yes, I already have a load get me back out of there. So I don't go there without having a load to get me back. I don't do that. So if I go out that way, I have a load get me back. So that's why I say I book 2 loads at the same time. Normally it's the same broker. So if I have a problem with one of their loads, they're going to understand why I can't do the second load. That's my philosophy about booking 2 loads back to back with the same brokers. Because something happens with one, you're not going to get dinged because you've fallen off the second load. Because their customer messed up that. I didn't mess it up. They know for a fact that their first customer messed you up for getting it. So that's the benefit of booking 2 loads with the same broker. I wouldn't recommend that. No, I would not recommend that. I really don't, because you can get more money if you expand to different brokers and everything like that. Okay, so this is not for everybody, but like I said, I've been dealing with the same broker for almost 3 years now. The same brokers I've been dealing with them, so they know me. Okay, so that's totally different. Okay, build relationships with these same brokers and things like that. So yeah, but that's what's been going on with me, man. I haven't been on here as much because I be hurting, and when you're talking, your jaw's moving, you're using your face muscles. Where the disc is herniated, it's next to those nerves that controls your face muscles, your jaw lines, your head, and that's why I have spasms all back here and things like that. So it's It's not always good all the time, man. It really is. It really ain't all hunky-dory all the time. All right, been 20 minutes, man. Y'all stay blessed. Y'all stay encouraged. You know, and you dictate your future. Don't let somebody else dictate your future. Okay? Don't let somebody else dictate your future. You dictate your future.